Hi everyone. I've been waiting to make this video for a moment when I could properly speak about this without breaking down. Like many of you in the chess community, I'm still grieving and I know that this pain is mutual. My goal for this video is to offer some light on the story of Daniel Nerditzky and to honor him as truthfully and lovingly as we can, while sharing stories for the people who never got the privilege of meeting Danya. Before I begin this video, I just want to clarify that at the time of this recording, we don't know the cause of Danya's passing. There are a lot of assumptions being made online, but we won't know the truth until his family does, and it will also be their choice when they feel it's time to share. So let's just give them that space and respect. Everyone says that Danya was one of the most brilliant chess players they met. It's pretty obvious. He was a world-class competitive player, both in online blitz and in classical, and he was one of the internet's most beloved and talented chess teachers. But what made Danya extraordinary wasn't just his genius, it was that at his core, he was always a humble, soft-spoken, kind, and compassionate human being, and this never changed no matter how successful he got. Since his passing, there has been a massive amount of love for Danya from everyone around the world. Story by story, everyone shares a common theme that Danya would drop anything to try to help somebody else. He always uplifted others in the chess community and never expected anything back. Over the last few days, I've been scrolling and watching some of his old speedruns and game recaps, and I was so impressed by how many thousands of comments and upvotes there are people who are commenting, "Hey, this helped me climb hundreds of ELO points." Most of these comments were on videos of Danya's before he passed, so I can't even imagine how many more tributes there are to come. Danya became both a grandmaster and an author at 14 years old. He wrote his first book, Mastering Positional Chess, and even then, everyone around him already knew he was not only an extraordinary player, but also a very gifted writer. He later graduated from Stanford University, where my sister got the pleasure of getting to know him better. After Stanford, Danya was torn whether he should pursue graduate school or continue pursuing his passion, chess. When he made the decision to pursue chess and move to Charlotte, which is known as the US chess capital, he was over the moon. My sister recalls a really sweet story how when he first moved to Charlotte, he messaged her, fangirling that he got to commentate with some of the greatest chess players in the world. Ironically, very soon he would begin competing with those players in online chess. Danya had a true love for teaching. From 20 to 2025, Danya served as a grandmaster in residence at the Charlotte Chess Club. While also teaching in person, Danya became one of Chess.com's most trusted and well-known commentators, often being paired with his close friend Robert Hess. I, along with many streamers, got the honor to commentate with Danya, and the common theme that everyone shared in their experience was that Danya never made anyone feel like a lesser co-commentator. Regardless that if you were to compare skill level, I would be someone who would be competing in PogChamps, and Danya is someone who is playing head-to-head with Magnus Carlsen. And a lot of the tributes to Danya from other streamers like Anna Rudolph, Amon Hamilton, everyone shares how much fun commentating with Danya was. He made chess sound so beautiful and so simple. It really didn't matter what rating you were, but you knew that if you got to commentate chess with Danya for one day, you were going to have an amazing time. Another memory that sticks with me with Danya was one time we had a chess lesson planned after he had a commentary stream. His commentary stream went overtime and lasted 7.5 hours exactly. I messaged him on Discord and I said, "You should probably rest, no need if you need to cancel," and Danya replied in the most Danya manner, "No way, I'm so excited for this lesson, the positions that I prepared are so much fun." Danya genuinely rated not only a love for the game, but he would inspire you to want to be a better player. While Danya was excelling with commentary, with running his own YouTube and Twitch channel, publishing his speedruns, doing in-person lessons, he was also competing at one of the highest levels in classical chess. He shared with one of his close friends, Grant Owen, that for this upcoming year, 2026, he was actually planning to return and take competitive chess very seriously and push to the goal of reaching the top 50 players in the world. This we all knew he would be capable of. He has already beaten top players in the world, like in 2021 when he beat Fabiano Caruana, number 3, in the US Championship. In another one of the many Danya tributes, Alireza Firouzja, currently number 6 in the world, even shared that Danya was traveling with him to his chess tournament as his coach. Everyone remembers Danya and Magnus Carlsen's legendary head-to-head late-night blitz games. There's a little funny anecdote in Danya's life. Out of the 140,000 blitz games he played, 600 of them were against Magnus. Some of these took place on Magnus's wedding night, and another one while waiting for the birth of his child. Danya was not only competing with the number 1 chess player in the world, but he had a mutual level of respect, and that should say more than enough. Everyone who knew Danya talked about how he lived, breathed, and loved chess. Even on his last chess stream, everyone thinks that his last game ended at 2 a.m. when the live stream ended. He actually played chess until 5 a.m. and enrolled in a chess tournament that night. There's a quote from one of his close friends, Grant, where he says, "When Danya would leave a party early, it would be to go play some online blitz and bullet. He loved chess more than anyone and played virtually every day of his adult life. We all loved him for that and loved following his career." Now I'm going to shift to the much harder part of this story, and I'm going to start by quoting his mother, Elena Naroditsky. "There was nothing more important to Daniel than his dignity and his name as a chess player. The ex-world champion was trying to say he's a cheater." Over the past year, Danya faced very public and painful cheating allegations from former world champion Vladimir Kramnik. They were not credible, and I don't want to give any light to those accusations, but everyone in the chess community commented on them as absurd. At first, many people tried to reason with Kramnik, given that when he was world champion, he was many people's chess hero. But when they tried, Kramnik would just push his rhetoric without any intention of hearing the other side. Kramnik's blog was eventually shut down by chess.com in 2023, making it clear that he was not engaging in any good faith. Kramnik had a history of accusing a multitude of titled players, sometimes even his own opponents, when he lost in online chess. I'm not here to analyze those accusations, but Hikaru said it best.
"He's a washed-up former world champion who's not that good at chess anymore, and he should shut the fuck up. That's what he should actually do."
He became absolutely obsessed with these claims, as you can see that he would reply on every single platform, on Twitter, on Reddit, in YouTube replies. On Twitter, he would block people who disagreed with him, and he would also create alt accounts to reply and bolster up his own points. This is not standard behavior for a rational grown man, much less someone who should be considered chess honor, who is greatly looked up to in the chess community. Sadly, this is not the first time that a former world champion is no longer a credible person in society. Bobby Fischer, one of the most historic and famous chess players and former world champions, began promoting anti-sexist, anti-Semitic, and anti-US propaganda in the later half of his life. He called for mass violence against the Jewish population on live radio and applauded 9/11 when it happened. I'm sorry for the extreme example, but I just wanted people to understand the severity of the situation. How the chess community dealt with this is they just distanced themselves over time and regarded Fischer as a tragic genius with a severe mental decline. Here are some quotes from some of the greatest chess players of all time about the Fischer situation. Anatoly Karpov, former world champion. He was a great player, but in the end, a very sick man. Grandmaster Yasser Seirawan. Bobby was ill. He needed help, and he never received it. Judith Polgar, regarded as the greatest female chess player in history. His collapse was heartbreaking. His mind created beauty and later destroyed him. For years, the chess community tried to separate Fischer's genius from his growing paranoia. But eventually they couldn't, and most people who admired him ended up grieving the person he became. Now, going back to Danya and Kramnik, there was such an immense amount of honor and respect, being that Danya grew up in the same Soviet chess school as Kramnik, and I can't put this into words, so might as well show you Danya's instead.
There's an old school notion of like honor, and I think nowadays, you know, it's like it doesn't resonate as much, but to me, it's still very important. I'm like from the Soviet school, and there's this like total, maybe like overly deferential respect to authority. This is why, like, when kids argue with me at chess camps, I'm like, man, if I did this, like my coach would say, like, when a GM is speaking, you shut up and listen. You soak in the knowledge.
Danya was so talented in chess that he got paired against Kramnik in a chess tournament. Here are his words about that experience.
We played twice over the board. In London, we made a draw at a rapid tournament. My mom wanted me to take a picture with him so that we have the chronology, right? 2007, 2014. I was like, no, I don't want to impinge on his freedom, his time. I would rather insert any like horrible medieval punishment than to cheat against a former world champion. Like, anybody who knows me knows that this is something that I take very seriously. Anytime he would accept my challenge, I would drop everything, run to the computer. Oh my God, I'm playing world champion. Out of respect for him, it would be unfair to give him anything but my full attention.
It's honestly really difficult for a non-chess player, and even for me, who I am a chess player, to understand the level of pain that he must have been going through because of these accusations. It was a mix of his culture, it was a mix of dedicating his entire life to this game and looking up to people like Kramnik. But even while all of this was going on, Danya never broke character. He was still forgiving, kind, just wanted to reach out and talk things one-on-one. After Kramnik published 4 videos on his YouTube channel explicitly accusing Danya of being a cheater, Danya spent 8 hours carefully crafting and translating a letter into Russian to prove his innocence. Sadly, Danya was met with the same hostility.
In response, I got the usual hate. Like, rather than words, why don't you go out of your like hellhole in Charlotte and play tournaments?
Danya did everything he could to prove his innocence. He played with 5 cameras at a time. He has so much footage where he was documenting and one-on-one addressing every claim that Kramnik made. He accepted uneven playing conditions on chess.com, where he had to play with Proctor while his opponents didn't. And he even accepted to go on live Russian television to talk one-on-one with Kramnik. This was after he reached out to a multitude of people for a chance to speak to him. I don't speak Russian, but translating most of the comments on this interview, the general sentiment was that you can't reason with someone who refuses reality. While many people realized privately and quietly that Kramnik was no longer a credible source of authority, in the chess world and online, his status still seemed largely untouched.
Listen, I'm not owed anything by anybody, but it would have been nice if like 1 or 2 more people spoke out. I'm not saying they had to do a stream or like Vishy Anand had to command the whole some 1 or 2 words.
This was the most heartbreaking part of Danya's interview. I cannot help but feel like that we, as a whole, as a chess community, failed Danya. Of course, we all express regrets, and hindsight is 2020. Magnus Carlsen also came out saying how he wished he had spoke about it more publicly. The greater takeaway of this video is what we can learn and fix for the future. This also raised questions about leadership in the chess community. FIDE is not only the most important governing body in North America, but also across Europe, with a major part of their funding coming from Russia. Kramnik did not have many supporters, but his most vocal ones were the ones from his home country and his Russian-speaking audience. So when Danya was reading this entire comment section in Russian, they felt especially close to home. Had FIDE publicly condemned Kramnik, they would have sent a powerful message to his last standing audience in Russia that this person is no longer holding any public credibility or authority. It wasn't only until after Danya's passing that FIDE had acted on Kramnik, mainly triggered by a massive amount of outrage to an extremely insensitive comment from FIDE's president about Danya's passing. The community's demand led to a petition to remove Kramnik's Grandmaster title and currently has more than 50,000 signatures. I will also link it in the description below. Now, I want to add that Danya would never seek vengeance, and making this video was a hard battle of what would Danya want, and it would be to respect his honor and to share all the amazing stories that people are doing, that we have been doing. But I also believe that honoring him means learning from what happened. And this means protecting players not after a tragedy, but before it. I also cannot help but reflect and genuinely apologize for how he dealt with the Hans Niemann situation. Of course, each case is different and you can't compare people's suffering, but one lesson is clear, and it's that the way our community deals with cheating accusations needs to change. We have to hold each other and our institutions to a higher process of fairness, compassion, and due process. The only light that we can draw from a tragedy like this is a commitment to build each other up, just like Danya did to those around him. We need to build a community where kindness is not optional, and we uplift the people who dedicate their life to this game and stand up for those people when their values are being violated. I hate that we had to lose one of our kindest and purest souls in the chess community to learn this lesson, but Danya's legacy will be one of the most impactful. Rest in peace, Daniel Nerditzky. We will honor you by doing better. I spent the last weeks speaking with family members, friends, chess players, crying and sharing a lot of tears and memories over Danya. But I wanted this video to be really carefully articulated because to me, there was a massive injustice, and it is our responsibility as faces of the chess community to speak about. I would have preferred to make a more soft-spoken video, just telling some of my favorite stories of Danya, but I just had to weave them in, and of course this is the first time I'm going off script, so I apologize if any of this video felt robotic. It just came from me speaking about an extremely important topic, and having wrote this video for 6 days in a row trying to find the best way to talk about, I wanted to make sure that I communicated everything perfectly. Since Danya's passing, I have never felt more inspired to do better, not only for the chess community, but even to be more inspired as a chess player. After this video, I'm getting dinner with a chess grandmaster who's in town, who I would say usually we probably would never be likely to all get together. But now when someone from the chess world reaches out, I am so excited to connect with people because we're all so touched and so moved by Danya that it just needs to feel like we need to be learning and working towards something greater. Every game of chess that I played since Danya's passing, I feel like now I play with purpose, and I'm just a mere not even 2000. Like, this is not me to honk my horn or give an honorable, speech. I just think it's something that I've read in so many comments, and the awareness that has been spread for Danya's love for teaching, it makes me, I just ordered his book from when he was 14 years old. I want to read it, and I want to study positional chess. I've been a chess player since I was 6, and I would have to lock myself in a closet for multiple hours to willingly want to study chess. But seeing Danya radiate so much love for the community has just made me feel like a new wave of excitement to play chess and to be in this world. Also, I wanted to add, when people describe Danya as humble and soft-spoken, we're not just trying to throw around buzzwords. I've watched every tribute to Danya, and whenever people share clips of themselves and he's playing chess, Danya always comes in the room with just genuinely the kindest smile. It just puts you at ease, and that's not only how he would talk to people, but that's how he collaborated with everyone, and that's how he taught chess. And there's so many fond memories with Danya, and just so you guys I talked about this, but the skill level, my sister and I would play odds matches where Danya would have 45 seconds versus two of us with 3 minutes. He had to win 10 games in a row, which means adopting us. This man would accept the most insane odds. He would not only do this for matches versus my sister and I, but against every chess streamer because he loved to play. Because we could not play straight up games, it would not be entertaining. Out of 100 games, I would lose every single game. But Danya just made chess so much fun, and even though he was this top grandmaster, this top blitz player with such an impressive career, he had no ego, and my sister would always play for some of the silliest stakes, such as doing silly dances And Danya was always such a good sport. I remember last time he said, "Alexandra, please don't make me dance." We have a couple funny videos that will be forever gems on the internet of Donnie doing the punishment. And the only reason he was doing the punishment is because he gave us superhuman odds. The last thing about Danya that I want to bring up is whenever you got a chance to meet him in person, he would always make you feel like he is the lucky one to spend time with you. Again, it was just in the way that he carried himself. And obviously, he had so much mutual respect for people, but the way he would treat Pia Kramling, Anna Kramling's mom, a legendary female grandmaster, or me, a non-titled player, would be the same treatment. He had such a witty sense of humor, too. There were endless stories about how in college he had this one inside joke with one of his family members to weave in this one phrase because it made his close friend or family laugh. And through like multiple essays, he would put it in just for a chuckle, like several page essays. He would have that just so that he could show his friend and laugh about it together. And he brought so many laughs to us. Like, he was not only an amazing chess commentator and player, but he had an incredible sense of humor. And he would do these impressions. He could impersonate literally any chess player that anyone requested. He could do it better than no one else. It was these small, silly things that just made Danya feel human when knowing that he was such a genius on the inside. He had all these quirks, like when he was a kid, he decided to memorize the name of every island in the world. And as an adult, he knew every single capital in the world. That when he was live streaming and his chat decided to quiz him on an esoteric capitals like Finland or something that had a separate independence, he knew it. Like, his knowledge was not only extremely widespread, he had a Stanford degree. If he had wanted, he could have pursued anything. He was excelling in academics, but he loved chess. I cannot do words justice for how an amazing person Danya was and how humble he was. My last funny Danya story is a couple years ago, he created an anonymous account called Rebecca Harris. And all these top players and grandmasters were trying to figure out who it was. He was like number one. He was competing with Magnus Carlsen. No one could figure out who it was. And finally, when there was like one or two suspicions that it might be Danya from his play, Danya was so satisfied and so happy for people to figure it out. Like, he just really appreciated these small inside jokes and these little subtle pieces of sense of humor because he brought joy to everyone around him. I've been really enjoying reading all the comments that people share across videos about their interactions and memories with Danya and how his videos helped or changed your life. We are all mourning and remembering Danya together, and his legacy will not die, and I hope that we can continue to talk about all the positive impact that he brought to us while also using this as an important learning lesson for what things we need to fix in the chess community. Thank you guys for watching this video. Thanks guys for listening. This will not be monetized. Sorry it took so long. It was genuinely a really hard thing to process and to figure out how to speak about properly. And even this didn't do justice, but I hated that we were being silent in a time like this. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next time.
I'll tell you a few things. I think, first of all, I'm the kind of person who doesn't like plans to be changed. I get excited about stuff, particularly if it involves teaching. The other thing I'd say is that, you and Alex are always a real pleasure to work with because you're incredibly understanding. I hate being late, and I know it was out of my control, but still, I just appreciate that you were flexible. And again, I've selected some really exciting material. So this honestly is a pleasure. Like, yes, I'm tired, but I think this is going to be fun. And I promise you, I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be shy about saying that I need a rest if I really did. So, I really appreciate your flexibility, but I'm definitely ready to go.